So this was not a video that I've been planning to make. I have a couple things on the docket coming up for the channel, a couple of videos that I think will be very informative and hopefully entertaining. And there's this list that every YouTuber creator has of upcoming projects. This was not one of them. I received a comment, I think it was yesterday now, on my YouTube channel on a video that I recently posted. And it was one of those comments that I couldn't just respond to with some written text. I needed it to be spoken word so that I could truly expand upon my thoughts and give this question the attention that I think it deserves. So before I read the question and get into my response, I want you to know that I do not consider myself some sort of sage of advice when it comes to dental school or life. I think there are so many people, countless people out there who are way better equipped to answer questions like this. I just have a little bit of perspective on the life of a dental student. And I think that's where the nature of this question stems. So I think I want to kind of address that aspect of it and hopefully in some way assist this person and maybe some of the other people who are dealing with the same issue, just at least a little bit. I'm not an expert, but I do hope this video helps if you're going through something similar to what this person is going through. The comment reads, "So I just want to know what we should do if we feel depressed. I'm a first-year dental student and I was really passionate to enter the field. Then I'm here feeling like I live an ordinary pale life. I just go to the college every single day, return to home to study, don't have friends I can relate with, and don't feel like I achieve things." And this is obviously a very serious question. And right out of the gate, my first response to this is I commend this person for leaving this comment because this is something that's very, very personal. It's something that if I was going through, I probably wouldn't feel open enough to share with someone online. But I think that that's the beauty of what we have here in this online space. We have the ability to go to others in our field and seek advice or comfort or some sort of camaraderie to help us through things. So I commend this person for having the guts to just leave this comment and hope for a response. And that's why I wanted to answer this question, because I do think this is something that a lot of people deal with, not just in dental school, but in life. There are two parts of this question. There's the dental school aspect and then the general depression in life aspect. And I obviously am way better equipped to answer the dental school aspect than I am the life and depression aspect. I think that's something that it's a massive topic, and I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts on how to start approaching that. But first, I wanna talk about the dental school stuff. Expectations are something that we deal with in every single aspect of our lives. We expect things to be a certain way, and when things are not that way, it's always this shock. Think about the last time you went on a vacation or a trip with your friends or something like that, and you had weeks or months of this building up these expectations, thinking about what your Airbnb is gonna look like, thinking about all the activities you're gonna do and all the memories you're gonna make. Often what we experience when we go on that actual vacation is that the experience is completely different than what we pictured. And then we have this moment of realizing that our expectations weren't exactly like what the reality of the situation was. And this can be a good or a bad thing. Sometimes trips turn out to be better than we expected or worse in some way. But the point is we have expectations, and essentially every single time, what actually happens in reality aren't like our expectations. The same can be said for dental school. I think a lot of times young students, and myself included in this, we sort of idealize dental school as this amazing, wonderful thing. We work so hard to get there. There's so much life devoted to it, so many emotions, so much energy, passion devoted to getting to this point. When you get there, you expect great, amazing things. What you find, however, is it's really just life, again, for 4 more years, but with a lot more challenges. And it isn't this great, wonderful green pasture that we thought it might be before we got there. So you could call this what you want. Maybe it's the dental school slump or something like this. But I think essentially every dental student deals with this, and same with medical students and anybody who's seeking this higher education, getting there and realizing that it's a lot tougher and more realistic than you might have thought when you idealized it in your head. I certainly have dealt with this. I mean, dental school to me has just been like undergrad, an extension of undergrad, with granted more unique studies in dentistry and things that have been extremely amazing and fulfilling, but it's just been more of the same in a sense as far as school's concerned. So step 1 here is to manage your expectations. Understand that dental school isn't exactly the green pasture that you're looking for. It's more school, it's more life. And if you're having trouble in life before dental school, those troubles aren't just gonna leave you because you've reached this level of education that you sought after for so many years. The struggles that you're dealing with in life, you have to learn to solve those outside of school. And if you're able to do that in one way or another, dental school is gonna become easier because you're not gonna have the burden of life on top of the burden of dental school. Another thing a little bit more specific to school itself, the first 2 years of dental school are in many ways, I don't want to say depressing, but they're just not the great expectations that you have before, because really it's just like undergrad, but you're also in the lab a ton and you're not really achieving these great things. Like all of the qualities that we talk about when we talk about being a dentist, helping people, making an impact, communicating with people and really connecting with people with something that's very, very close to them, their actual body. Those things you're not experiencing even in the slightest. It's just you trying to get through a mountain of work that doesn't even feel like it's really making an impact. And this is the first 2 years of dental school. Every single one of us is gonna go through it. If you haven't already, it's just the reality of the situation. When we get into our third year, that's when we start treating patients, and that's when our actual impact in the profession becomes a lot greater. But that's not to say, once again, that once we get into our third year, we're not gonna have these same thoughts of depression and things, like we're not making an impact. But the point is, the first 2 years of dental school aren't really all that fun necessarily. They're not like all that great and exhilarating in many ways. It's really in many ways a grind that all of us have to get through in our own way. And there are, like I've said, plenty of fulfilling moments. There are plenty of times when you realize I'm actually learning this stuff. I'm learning the ground level of the rest of my life, which is really cool. But yeah, the expectations, man, they don't always match up to what you have built them up to be. And this kind of goes into another comment that this person makes in their comment, and that is this reference to not having friends or people to relate to. One thing that's definitely true is that when you're in dental school or medical school, most of the people in your life aren't gonna exactly understand what you're going through every day. And that's not to say that the people in your life aren't as smart as you or aren't as successful as you. Often, many of them might be more of those things. They just don't understand exactly what your school experience is like day to day. And so it may be hard to find that relatable connection with people. But I encourage you to seek out the relationships that you've had in the past and just kind of take stock in where people are at. I think a lot of times we as dental students, we think we're missing out on a lot. We're missing out on this great life in our early 20s, and all of our friends from college are living this amazing, wonderful life, and it's just we're in our room studying and we're missing it all. But actually go out and ask some of your friends from undergrad what they're going through. And I imagine 8, 9 out of 10 people are gonna tell you that they're working a base level job. They don't make a lot of money, it sucks. They're having to pay bills for the first time. There's just all of these things that are piling up on them. And you kind of think, you take a step back and you're like, well, maybe it's not all that bad for me compared to some of my colleagues. And so that kind of covers your friends from home or friends from college, friends from the past. But now we can talk about new friends to make. You're in a dental class. You're in a class with, we'll say, around 100 people that are doing the exact same thing. Every single class, every single lab, all the assignments, they're doing that exact same thing. And there's a lot of comfort that you can seek in that. If you feel like you don't have great friends in life, try to seek the companionship of those who are closest to you in your profession or in your station in life, which is your classmates. Seek them out. Ask if you can hang out with them. Go out and have a beer, do something like that, and try to build some relationships with your colleagues, your literal dentist friends who are gonna be the people that you call and text when you have a difficult case in the future. Those types of people, you can start to establish those relationships now and seek that comfort and companionship through them. So to kind of sum up the dental school side of this question, I really encourage you to understand that the first 2 years especially, and really all 4 years of dental school, are just one stepping stone in your life. They're not meant to be this great ethereal thing that you can experience and just every single day feel this wonderful fulfillment. They're really just a stepping stone. They're meant to get you to that next point, and even that next point is probably a stepping stone. The first 5-10 years of your career, you're trying to build up both your clinical skills and your financial freedom. All of those things are coming. Just understand that this is a stepping stone, and there's just ways that you can get through it. You can put your head down at times, but other times you can stick your head up and enjoy the little beauties of life that are coming at you in this time. So that's the dental school side of this question. The other side of this question, like I said earlier, I'm not very qualified to answer, and I'm not even really gonna try. And that is the general life, mental health and depression discussion, which once again, I don't think I'm very qualified to answer that. If you are genuinely depressed in life, I think there's a lot of things that you can start with. For you, dental school seems like the reason, right? But maybe it's something a little bit greater than that that's causing this depression for you. And that's where you need to seek out and understand what's the root of this issue. For me, I'm a spiritual person, so my faith would be what would kind of fill that blank. I'm not gonna tell you that that's exactly what you need. I think it might be, but perhaps for you it isn't. And so let me give you a little bit of a suggestion for someone to seek out to maybe start tackling this general life depression. Suggested reading, I'm gonna go with this. It's like a classic now, it's a modern classic. This is Dr. Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, and it is a wonderful book. Now I think Dr. Peterson has gotten some really bad press over the years, all of which I think is entirely unwarranted. He's actually a very genuine and passionate man who has helped millions of people who are dealing with the same struggles that you are. And this is a book that really helps you tackle life. Talks about order and chaos in the mind, which is really what a lot of people are going through. So this is the first book that I would read. He also has 12 More Rules for Life, which is sort of a sequel to this book. And additionally, he's constantly putting out content for people like you and me who are going through life struggles to just kind of help you get through them, help you navigate those struggles. Definitely seek out Dr. Jordan Peterson. And if you've heard bad things about him, I have a recommendation for a video that you should watch, and this will completely 100% change your mind. So this is the video. It's called A Change of Heart Towards Jordan, and it's a discussion between Jordan, his daughter, Michaela, and Africa Brooke. And it's really one of the more moving things that I've seen in a while. Sort of this person who had a preconceived notion of what Jordan Peterson was and who he was, coming to the realization that he was in fact the exact opposite. He was a kind, compassionate man who cared about his work, cared about helping people. And it really is this moving moment where Jordan is just completely overwhelmed with emotion, realizing the impact that he's had. So check out that video if you're on the fence about Jordan. I wish you the best of luck. I hope that this video helped at least a little bit. I think it probably helped at least more than my comment in response would have. I'm glad that I decided to make this a video form, a long form video. And I also hope that this helps some other people. I know that my impact on YouTube is kind of small, but if this helps even one person, it's a success in my book. And I honestly mean that. So there is a dark side to dental school, but I also think it just kind of overlaps with the dark side of life. And you can't tackle one without tackling the other. That's really all I have to offer in this video. All of us will get through it. It's 100%. I feel that. I know that for a fact. Keep your head down. Keep working hard. There will be a reward at the end for good, honest, hard work. So keep doing that. I appreciate you all for watching. Once again, I hope this helped. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've struggled with similar things and if you've overcome them, how you did that. Let's get the discussion going in the comments. I always enjoy that. And stay tuned for things coming in the future. My semester is coming to an end rapidly. We have 2 major exams coming up, which I'll be really, really preoccupied with studying for over these last couple of weeks. We also have Endo coming to a close, which I cannot wait to get onto the podcast and to the channel and talk about endo. It's been a whole experience. So a lot of content coming soon when I have more time freeing up after the semester ends. But that's really it for today. I appreciate you all for watching. And as I always say at the end of my videos, I will see you in the next one.